Another year of great RPGs down, another year of great RPGs incoming. Today, I'll be counting down my top 10 RPGs set for release in 2025. While 2025 probably doesn't have as many big name releases scheduled as the last few years, there is still loads to be excited for. This list is going to include all types of RPGs set for release next year. Some of these titles don't have an exact release date yet, but I am confident that they'll all be released in 2025. This list also isn't going to include any remasters, so while I'm so excited for games like the Suikoden and Luna remasters, they will not be making an appearance here. Remakes, however, they are fine. And remember, this is just my list, and I would love to know what RPGs you're most excited for, so leave me a message in the comments below. Before we begin, if you liked this video, it would help me out a lot to hit that like button and sub for loads more RPG content coming in the new year. You can also hit that super thanks if you'd like to support the channel. Alright, here it is, my top 10 RPGs set for release in 2025. To start things off, we have Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero. Now, the original is a game that's been sitting in my PS2 collection for 2 decades now, but for some reason, I've just never given it a go. What I can say is that this tactical RPG was well received. After all, it was developed by the creators of Disgaea, who absolutely know how to tactical RPG. Just like the original, Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero revolves around Morona and her ability to combine her phantoms with objects to unleash a load of different attacks in battle. The example from the trailer was combining a phantom with a cannon to unleash an AoE cannon attack and a fan to blow enemies away. You can also confine souls into yourself to turn the tides of battle. Each battlefield also allows for free movement on a gridless map with a multitude of strategic choices regarding what, when, and where to confine your phantoms. If you're into strategy-focused JRPGs like this one, check out Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero when it releases on January 30th. Next, we have The Outer Worlds 2 from Obsidian Entertainment. These guys are well known for creating quality RPGs such as Knights of the Old Republic 2, Fallout New Vegas, and Pillars of Eternity. I have really been looking forward to this release, not only because the first one was great, but also because of the hilarious trailers. The Outer Worlds 2 is a standalone sequel to 2019's The Outer Worlds, set in a brand new solar system with a new cast of characters. This means that there's no requirement to have played the first game. Essentially, you can expect a Fallout style game set in space, and I am a sucker for sci-fi games such as this. There's a focus on exploration, completing a load of quality side quests, and decision making that have significant repercussions. Something that I loved about the original is that there were many different viable ways to do things, from shooting it out to stealthing it up to perhaps just talking it out in a range of different ways. Not too much else is known about the game, but it is said to feature
more action, more weapons, and more graphics?
Yeah, The Outer Worlds 2 is going to be that sort of game, and I'll be digging into it whenever it's released next year. Next, we have the latest in a JRPG series that I haven't covered too often on this channel, but I'm definitely keen to play more of. I'm talking about the crafting-focused Atelier series, with its latest title, Atelier Yumiya, being set for release on March 21. The story centers around the alchemist Yumiya, who discovered her abilities during a tragic event that also took her mother's life. Driven by a desire to uncover the mysteries of alchemy, she joins the Alladis research team, who investigates the remnants of a once powerful empire who used alchemy before succumbing to a mysterious cataclysm. Since then, alchemy has become a forbidden art, which is an interesting direction for an Atelier game. But it's not like that's going to stop Yumiya. As you would expect, the game features a brand new crafting system where players manipulate mana inside materials to create new items for combat or exploration. Another interesting new feature is the ability to build up your base, which is something that I love doing in my RPGs. Yumiya's exploration also looks to have reached a series high, with larger areas and a range of different traversal features. You can also conduct synthesis on the fly while exploring, which sounds incredibly useful. finally, we have the combat, which is a complete change for the series. Now, we have real-time action-based battles with different attack ranges and even group attacks. Atelier Yumiya looks to be evolving the series in many different ways, and I'm looking forward to seeing just how far this goes. Next up, we have an action RPG that looks absolutely incredible. The development story behind this game is also really interesting. Back in 2014, it was being worked on by an independent dev named Yang Bin after being inspired by footage of Final Fantasy XV. A prototype was then shared in 2016 and received a lot of attention, with Sony eventually helping Bin establish a fully fledged development team, turning it into a AAA title. Lost Soul Aside is set in a world on the brink of chaos. The story revolves around a warrior named Kaiser who becomes bonded to a mysterious dragon-like creature named Arena and explores themes of survival, betrayal, and redemption. The game has a focus on fast-paced, fluid combat with a mix of melee attacks, aerial combos, and a load of special moves. However, there will also be an emphasis on open-world exploration with loads of secrets and side quests. In regards to the RPG mechanics, players will be able to customize their weapons and abilities with an upgrade system allowing for loads of different playstyles. This footage just looks incredible, and I'm looking forward to learning more about the game, which is set for a 2025 release on the PS5 and PC. At number 6, we have the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remakes. If you're out of the loop, the third Dragon Quest title recently received a complete HD 2D remake. Just before it was released, its teaser trailer concluded with the reveal that the first and second games in the series would also be receiving this full remake treatment in 2025. Now, no footage was actually shown for the games, but it's no doubt going to look just as beautiful as the Dragon Quest 3 remake, which is the footage that you're seeing now. So, why did they start with Dragon Quest 3 first, you ask? Well, Dragon Quest 3 is actually set before the first two games, so the intention of the release order is so that gamers could play them chronologically. Now, I recently completed the third title, and if that's anything to go by, we have a lot to be excited for. The graphics are beautiful, and in my opinion, the peak of what Square Enix have achieved with this HD 2D style. There are also quite a variety of significant new additions, most notably a new job class and a complete overhaul to the monster arena. And of course, plenty of quality of life additions to make a 30-year-old game more playable today. If anything about this looks like it may interest you, then I highly recommend trying Dragon Quest 3 first to best prepare you for the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake coming soon. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is one of those titles that I was super hyped for, then lost all hope for, and now I just don't know what to think. On one hand, if it actually does get released and is fully cooked, it's going to be amazing, as the first title back in 2004 had a lot going for it. On the other hand, it was first scheduled for release in early 2020, but it was then delayed and then completely changed developers. But by all accounts, it will be arriving in 2025 for modern consoles and PC. The game is set in a modern-day Seattle within the World of Darkness universe. Here, vampires, werewolves, demons, and other supernatural beings influence the course of human history. Vampires are organized into various clans and adhere to a strict code to keep their existence hidden from humans and to prevent unnecessary violence. After creating your vampire and selecting a clan, you are free to roam around Seattle, being the kind of vampire that you wish by allying with different factions and dealing with enemies or the innocent in a variety of ways. If there is one thing that really stood out about the original, it was the atmosphere, and from everything that I've seen, Bloodlines 2 looks to follow suit. The game is dark, mature, and has a load of characters from all walks of life, or death, that I am just dying to meet. If you've been subbed to this channel for a while, you've probably seen this game on previous upcoming RPG lists, but hopefully this will be the last time. It was only 6 months ago that we first got our hands on the debut title in the newest Trails arc, Trails Through Daybreak. It is really hard to believe that the follow-up to this is only a couple of months away, so props to Nihon Falcom and NIS America for making this happen. Daybreak 2 is set shortly after the events of the first game, where Elaine recruits the protagonist Van to investigate a series of bizarre murders. This leads them to a mysterious man who is able to take a form similar to Van's Grendel. The team at Arkwright Solutions once again come together to solve this mystery, and I am really excited that Nadia and Swin from Tales to Reverie also join the crew. And at this point, if you're wondering, the answer is no. Do not play this if you haven't played Daybreak 1 first, you'll be missing out on so much. Daybreak 2 also allows you to go down different routes with other characters, just like you could in Reverie, and I am a big fan of this kind of story structure. The outstanding hybrid battle system from Daybreak 1 has also been evolved, allowing you to cast arts in field battles as opposed to simple melee attacks. I know that I've been saying this for years, but I just can't get enough of this series, and I cannot wait to experience the next part of Van's journey on Feb 14. Next we have Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. This game follows the series' favourite anti-hero Goro Majima after he wakes up on a beach having lost his memories. This island, named Rich Island, is located in Hawaii, so as you would expect, the game reuses many of the assets from Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I really love this Hawaiian location, and I am more than happy for a return back to the Aloha state. While on Rich Island, Majima takes on some pirates, earning him the title of captain, and from here, it's basically Yakuza does pirate ships. It looks and sounds ridiculous, because it is ridiculous, but I wouldn't have it any other way. In terms of the combat, the game goes back to its roots with action-focused gameplay, where we see Majima taking on loads of enemies at a time, stringing together insane combos. If you're familiar with the series, you'll know that there is always a heavy focus on minigames, and it looks like the big one here is with the pirate ship combat. Here, you can customize your ship and take on other pirate ships in the Pirate Coliseum, and this looks awesome. To be honest, any upcoming Like a Dragon title is a no-brainer for me, and I'll be jumping in on day 1 on Feb 28th.
Do you know what it means to disappear into nothingness?
When Clair Obscur Expedition 33 was first revealed at the Xbox Games Showcase, I was blown away. An absolutely gorgeous Final Fantasy looking RPG with a turn-based combat system. This was the last thing that I was expecting, and since then I've been hanging off every detail. To start with, the premise of the game is very intriguing. Main characters Gustav and Lune team up to defy the will of the Paintress. She is a godlike figure who kills loads of people each year by painting a number on a monolith. The number this year is 33, meaning anyone aged 33 will die at the end of the year. These breathtaking environments are freely explorable, and you can see your enemies on the map, allowing you to choose your encounters. The turn-based battle system allows your characters to aim with quick time events for attacks, dodges, and parries. I mean, for a game like this, you would expect an action-focused combat system, but I think it's great that they're taking a different approach. Add to this an all-star cast including Ben Starr from Final Fantasy XVI and Jennifer English from Baldur's Gate 3, and you've got yourself something we should all be excited for. Clair Obscur Expedition 33 is set for release sometime in 2025 on PC and modern Xbox and PlayStation consoles. At number 1, could it be anything else? The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky First Chapter Remake. For a bit of context, Sky FC, as it's often referred to, is the first in the Sky trilogy and follows two young bracers, Joshua and Estelle, on their journey to become senior bracers. The entire Trail series is all about storytelling, character development, and world building, and Sky FC is no exception. At times, the pacing can be incredibly slow, but this build-up is all worth it for those major moments that really hit, and there's no better example of this than the ending. I'm obviously not going to spoil anything here, but few games or media in general has ever blown me away so much by presenting such an incredible cliffhanger. From what we've seen so far, the Sky FC remake looks to be the prettiest Trails game yet, and being able to explore these locations in 3D is something that I am so excited for. The combat seems to have had a complete overhaul too, taking inspiration from the action turn-based hybrid system from Daybreak. This is great news too, as it's my favourite combat in the entire series. There is just so much to be excited for here, but I do understand that the Trail series can be incredibly daunting to get into, considering there are so many entries, with each game being on the lengthy side. This is why remaking the very first game of the entire series is so important for the series as a whole, as it will act as the perfect starting point for those out there who have always wanted to try out the series. And that was my top 10 RPGs set for release in 2025. There are some amazing titles coming up, and hopefully I'll be able to cover them all on this channel. What did you think of this list, and what titles are you most looking forward to next year? Let me know in the comments below. This was Hellfire RPGs, thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to hit that like button and sub for more RPG content coming soon. I'm currently counting down my top 100 JRPGs of all time, so check that one out if you're interested. See you next time.